Is age difference an issue when you're applying for your K-1 visa or even for a marriage-based visa at that, at that? Is if you have a 20 or 30 or, a large age gap, is it a problem? So it can be a red flag in some cases. And there's actually a document that was obtained at some point by some immigration lawyers. That's actually a government document. We're not sure if it's exactly the document they still use internally, but basically it had a large list of things that could be considered red flags to indicate that a marriage could be, or a relationship could be, fraudulent. One of them was a large age gap, and other things included things like short duration of your relationship or other suspicious, pattern that kind of looked outside of the norm, not living together, having very different backgrounds, like different religions or not sharing a common language, obviously need to speak with each other. So anyway, this document had a whole bunch of different potential red flags. And these are all important things to keep in mind, because anytime the government's assessing your relationship, you want to be very convincing that your relationship is real, of course, right? But the thing to keep in mind is that none of these things are, it's not the law. It's not that if you have that, you don't qualify. It's just that if you have any of these factors, the government may take a second look or be extra suspicious. And so for any case, whether you have a very kind of traditional, what USCIS is looking for traditionally and what they believe is most likely to be a realistic relationship, or whether you have multiple red flags, you always have to be careful to tell your love story so that it makes sense. So we have had tons of couples who have a significant age gap, especially now that people are meeting their partners online. And, we just have different ways of coming across people. And sometimes it just introduces us to people we would not have met maybe in, back in the day when people only met their immediate neighbors down the street and things were a little bit more homogenous. So the real issue is just, how are you going to show that your story makes sense? You just, when we look at this evidence, we don't want to do anything that when they look at your relationship on paper, it looks like, oh, maybe this is just somebody trying to help out a friend, or like a friend of their kid or something like that. It's like we have to just, does the story make sense? Does it look like a real couple? Do they have that vibe on paper? So yes, be concerned, but don't be overly concerned. Just take care of it the right way and make sure your application is filed correctly. And we can definitely help you with that if you have that concern. Okay.